Hello everyone and welcome back to the Kenny Wallace Show, brought to you by JEGS, the leader in high performance aftermarket car parts. Remember to go to jegs.com for everything you need to fix your vehicle up. And of course, this year they are telling me they have a lot of Jeep parts and a lot of truck parts. Well, you're wondering why the Herminator's wearing a hat. I've been in the swimming pool all day long, so I got swimming pool hair. So anyway, hey, listen, let's talk about this Iowa race. Made some notes. It was a great race. This is 20 years in the making. This reminds me of a St. Louis deal. So my brother Rusty, old Herman and his brother Rusty, yes, my brother Rusty. Rusty did a great job, and he said it right. After 20 years of waiting, Iowa Speedway finally gets a cup date. Just want to spend a couple minutes on this. You know, this is one of these old new tracks. So they built Iowa. Rusty designed it. You know, there were some original owners, and, you know, it's like we have to have a cup date here for this racetrack to survive. And I got to tell you, NASCAR threw them a bone. They had the Xfinity Series there. They had the Truck Series, and then IndyCar came in, ARCA. You get my point, but still not enough to really, you know, keep this show going at Iowa. So they were about out of business. Now, here's what's crazy about it. NASCAR bought the track. NASCAR owns this track. But I believe, now this is my opinion, respond right here if there's something you know that I don't know. The only way we could get to Iowa was they had to loosen up some racetracks. So, you know, it's the same reason as how did we get to St. Louis? You know, how do we get to anywhere we get to now? That means, you know, Pocono, 2 dates, we're down to 1 date. That's my point. My point is if anybody's going to go to a new track, somebody's going to have to lose a date. Now, let me just say what I saw. And you all respond right here. I wrote it down right here. Right there. Hype and happiness. This is an old racetrack, everybody. This is 20 years old. Like Brother Rusty said once again at the start of the race. He said after 20 years of waiting, I mean, hell, in 2015, that's where I retired. I drove the U.S. Cellular car for Joe Gibbs, and that was the last race of my NASCAR career. But this is an old racetrack that is now new all over again. It's kind of like a country music group or a rock and roll group re-releasing a song. Like, this is an old song, but now it's a hit. So anyway, congratulations to Brother Rusty. He's got a lot of pride put into that place. I'm just going to leave you with this on my opinion about the racetrack. I know it's rough. I know it needs a repave job. But it was a hell of a race. If you don't think that was a really good race, there's something wrong with you. I'm sorry. I got to call you out. The track was rough. They was a loose exit in the corner. They were 3 wide. And, I mean, every time they come off a turn 4, it's like, oh. And then they'd either wreck or get into it. So, listen, the fans in Iowa, if you're from Iowa, respond here. One thing I know about the Iowa people, you're clean, you're neat, everything's beautiful. That, you know, somebody told me something one time I'll never forget. They said, Herm, the farmers don't want to hear it. There's the 3 I's. I said, what is that? They said, the biggest farm states in America, Illinois, Iowa, and Indiana. And Iowa, to me, is like number 1. Buddy, it's farming, and that's all there is. And with that, with farming family, comes cleanliness, comes, Tulip Festival, Watermelon Festival, Strawberry Festival. It's just a good, wholesome state. They showed up, sold out, over 60,000 people. Those were their original grandstands. And then they brought in more. Now NASCAR owns this track. I know I've said it 2 or 3 times. NASCAR owns this racetrack. So if they think they're going to stay there, they might have to build some grandstands, but I don't know. Respond right here. I think 60,000 people's all you need. The Daytona 500 is sold out at 100,000. Now with the way we consume TV, I don't think you need any more than 60,000 people. I think that's enough, and get the TV revenue money. Everybody else, we're in a new world. Listen, I don't want to hear it from all my old people out there. I'm old too. The old days are gone. There's no need to put 200,000 people in a racetrack anymore. There's no need to put 150,000 people in a racetrack anymore. I can't tell you how many millions of dollars they spent tearing down grandstands. So let's just leave it at 60. It looks good on TV. It's like sold out, 60,000. All right, so that's my thought on the racetrack. Yes, it needs to be repaved. Yes, it needs to be smoothed out. But I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes if a racetrack's smooth and perfect, it's perfect. I really thought that looked good. It was a good race. All right. Ryan Blaney wins, right? This was the redemption race for Ryan Blaney. He won that race at St. Louis and did not get a checkered flag. I felt bad for Ryan Blaney at St. Louis. Okay, I'll meet you halfway. Christopher Bell was probably going to win St. Louis, but then his motor laid down. And here's Blaney coming to the checkered flag at St. Louis. He runs out of gas, and then of course, Austin Cindric wins St. Louis. So this was the redemption race, but this also tells you how fast Ryan Blaney is. He's fast. Ryan Blaney deserved that win. All right, that's that. Ryan Blaney's fast. He deserved the win. Kyle Larson, what can you say? He had the fastest car, and I watched him come up off of turn 4, like 4 wide. I'm like, 4 wide off of turn 4. They did it all day long. And Daniel Suarez gets loose. You think he's going to save it, but boy, they're battling. They want that position. And Daniel Suarez just knocks the hell out of Kyle Larson in the left rear. Now listen, there's nothing else to say about that. It's like, whose fault was that? Well, it was Daniel Suarez. He knocked the hell out of Larson. And the more interesting thing about that was what, Cliff Daniels, Kyle Larson's crew chief, said, we're just going to let it go because we know we were the fastest car here. I thought it was an interesting approach. They've won 3, 4 races. They're locked in the playoff chase. And I think it's a smart move on Cliff because that waiver fiasco is out of the way. So in some ways you can go, hey, look, they gave us the waiver. Let's shut up. Right? You start complaining. It's like, hey, we got the waiver. We won races. We're looking good. We're in the playoffs. We want more checkered flags, but let's be thankful for getting the waiver. I don't know if that's what Kyle Larson's crew chief meant, but it sure did come across that way to me. All right, the broadcast. We're going to end like this. I'm not going to belabor the point. I told you it was a great race. They was 3 and 4 wide at times. They was getting into each other. Guys were saving it. They were loose, and it made for a hell of a show. Dale Jr. came on X, and he said, solid race. I couldn't say it any better. I agree with Dale Jr. Solid race. Good race. But this broadcast thing, you people, you make me laugh. Fox, like at the end of this year, you'll all be going, I can't wait for Fox to get back. So right now we're in this, it's like when anybody gets married, they love each other. Everybody loves each other. Now NBC's back. Oh, I like NBC. They good the way they showed all solid. I'm like, here's what's great about next year. We have so many streaming situations next year. We're going to consume NASCAR in 2025 with like a lot of different TV stations, right? Fox, NBC, and then, Dale Jr. is going to do what? Amazon Prime or something like that. Tell me, but it's a lot. So here's my joke to end this deal. next year, as soon as you get tired of Fox, just wait, because then NBC is going to come over. As soon as you get tired of NBC, just wait, because Amazon Prime is going to come over. And then when you get tired of that, just wait. So you won't have time to bitch next year about the TV, because as soon as you get done bitching about that one, the next one, that one's going to end, the next one's coming up. But I did enjoy the love fest on social media today. Oh, NBC's so good. Y'all do the same stuff every year. You're predictable. I'm a Fox guy. Can you tell? All right, everybody, lots of love. And remember, we are in podcast form. We are in iTunes and Spotify. And you can listen to this. I told you what you needed to know. It was a good race. And you might have missed some things, but listen, after 20 years of waiting, you saw the hype and happiness. It was a beautiful, beautiful, picturesque scene. The cars were lined up in the parking lot, beautiful, and it was vintage Iowa. Beautiful families, and well done. All right, everybody, until the next Kenny Wallace Show.